no woman had been admitted to the university, or at least to the undergraduate schools, until to 1970. But in order to get them, to get the university to admit women as students to the undergraduate schools, we had to convince the university officials. The dean, his name was an interest, B.F.D. Runk. Benjamin Franklin something Runk. Anyhow, he was not my friend, because I argued with him even before that over Catholic students and things. But anyhow,
were women day students?
They used to come to my house, which was right there next to the university, the same street. And when they planned to have a march in order to advocate for the admission of women to the university.
So there were no women? Could they do day classes,
They couldn't get into the undergraduate schools.
Period.
Because except for nursing, and they could get in second.
Right. I don't know that I knew that, right?
Third year at the university. And so, so these students were in my living room there, preparing to march around the university and confront this dean and anybody else they could agitate. So, but there's one student who's going to come here from Hawaii to see me.
All right.
He's still around, and he's writing a book about me. At least that's what I understand. And anyhow, he has made this poster, which they were going to carry around the university, picturing the dean Runk, and isn't that what I said? Runk.
Yes.
That's his name.
Yes.
And this dean dressed up in a Roman collar. I confronted John Whittick. John, what are you doing? Posing a priest as your enemy. And here you are in my living room. Drawing this poster. But wait till he comes in.
When's he coming?
They're all 70 years old now.
When is he coming?
Sometime this spring.
All right.
Yeah, but that's what B.F.D. Runk in a priest.
In his priest
House.
yes.
And here I am, the one giving them the use of my house, helping them, advising them. But we had a great time.
So how long did it take to get women?
1970, they were admitted for the first time.
First time. All right.
Yeah. Now we had women there, and so I got a sister to come and be on my staff.
Right.
There, when the women were there. And she was a wonderful person, brilliant, wonderful, educated, PhD from University of New Mexico about South Africa or South America, and all, and because women were not allowed in the pulpit at all in those days.
No.
So what we had
But you
decided.
slipped her in.
Well, what we had decided, I had this associate, you know, and we would go over on Monday. We'd go over to the Newcomb Hall, the student union, and there was a great big table there, which at lunch on Monday was filled with students who had been to Mass the previous day. And they were all talking about the sermon. And when we had a different priest at different Masses, then they got all confused because one guy would start talking about his experience at one Mass, another guy at another Mass with a different priest. So what we decided to do was one priest would say all the sermons and all, and then the next week the
Another,
other priest
right.
would switch around. And the one who preached would say 2 sermons, and the other guy would say 3. We had a Mass on Saturday night and 4 Masses on Sunday.
Wow.
So what I did was then I asked this sister, this woman, whom I was so delighted with her and all. She was so competent, and nothing unusual about a woman being competent or anything like that. But I just was so pleased that I had that kind of a person to come
Yeah.
and serve. And I called her in and talked to her like the first week she was there, and I said, you know, would you like to preach a sermon on Sunday? She was, never had been said, at least as far as I know, to any woman, you want to preach and all. So, Bill, give me a couple of days to think about it. And she came back about 2 days later, said yes. And now we had first-year women students at the university, and we had a woman to preach. And one of the issues I thought that we were gaining was that here was a woman talking at this university level to these women. And do you know that when they saw her getting into the pulpit, there women would just kind of sit up a little straighter, saying, see, anything you can do, we can do too.